Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It's a pretty start across the viewing area, but coming up, we have a chance for thunderstorms for the next several afternoons. I'll walk you through the timeline and show you when we could have some severe storms.
We're live at the scene of a very serious crash involving 3 vehicles here in Raleigh, including a UPS truck. A look at the cleanup process now underway.
And investigators have been on the scene of a shooting for more than 11 hours. What we know about that situation that left a man dead outside of a local Durham business.
And devastation in Iowa after a tornado flattened a small community there. What we know about the search and rescue efforts in that area. The video just so devastating to look at there. We'll have more on that story just ahead. Thanks for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Levingood. We want to go ahead and get it over to Elizabeth Gardner right now because today is going to be hot.
It is. The big change that happens today is our wind starts to come out of the south. It's going to bring in more moisture and more heat across our area. It's a pretty start this morning. This is a live look at downtown Raleigh from our Jimmy V camera. It is 69. The temperature really jumped up. We had temperatures in the 50s just about an hour and a half ago. So here we go. Our dew point's now at 62, but that's still comfortable in terms of what we see during the summer, which is about 10 degrees higher than that. But that was a quick warm up for us this morning. 70 in Southern Pines now, 68 in Rocky Mount, still holding on to 61 in Roxborough. And you'll definitely feel it. Yesterday, we were in the mid-70s at lunchtime, looking at mid-80s at lunchtime today with a high near 90, and it will feel just a little bit more humid. Now, today stays dry, but tomorrow, our cold front gets close enough to help start some thunderstorms popping up just after lunchtime. And then during the evening commute, it's probably going to be fairly messy around the triangle. Then those storms during dinner time move on off into our south and eastern counties. That begins, of course, a string of days that we'll see afternoon thunderstorms. For tomorrow, it's a level 1 risk for severe storms from, say, Fayetteville northward. That's the only severe threat that we have in our forecast for the next few days. But I'll walk you through the timeline for the rain through the weekend. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, at 8:02, we continue to follow that breaking news we've been following all morning long, a major crash at the intersection of East Millbrook and Atlantic Avenue. And actually, this crash also just happened where that major crash is. This one is near Lacey Avenue, though, but that's the real troubled spot right there where that crash involves 3 vehicles. Let's get right to WRAL Laura Levine. Laura, you've been on the scene all morning long. Set the scene for us and recap what happened.
Ken, crews and investigators have been on this scene for more than 4 hours now. So have we. Behind me, you can see they are now in that phase of cleaning up all of this debris. And actually, as you were tossing to me, they just pulled away that UPS truck that was involved in this accident as well. You can see that the pickup truck is now resting on this tow truck. They're preparing to remove that vehicle. And then this one here, this red car, will be the last one that they get out of the road. But just a complete mess here. A very serious crash involving these 3 vehicles and 3 people. The driver of the UPS truck, we know he remained on the scene this morning speaking with police, kind of helping them in their investigation. 2 other people involved in this. We spoke with relatives of the driver in this red car. They tell us that he is in stable condition this morning, but that's all the information we have right now. We're still working to learn more about how the driver of this pickup truck is doing, waiting for that confirmation from police. It's unclear how all of this happened. Again, a very serious situation. I want you to take a listen to a relative, the uncle of the person driving that red car, as they kind of process the scene.
It's a tragic thing, you know. It's terrible, and I just wish, I wish this never happened, and I hope my boy get right, That's all.
Yeah, so at this time, they're asking for prayers for everyone involved in this situation. I also spoke with the employee of a gas station here off camera. He saw this play out and just very traumatized by what he saw. Ken, I know a lot of people are going to be trying to get through this area this morning. You have a look at how folks can get around it.
is impacted by what happened. Laura Levine reporting live. Checking our sensors this morning, as Laura just aptly pointed out, that entire section remains closed right now, even though they're in the cleanup phase. I would recommend Spring Forest Road as an alternate route to avoid that area altogether. Elsewhere in the triangle, you see the major backup happening on the congestion on the north side of the Beltline as well as the south side of the Beltline as well. We got a couple of crashes that we wanted to tell you about. This one, like I said earlier today, when the icon clears, that means that crash is cleared. It was on New Bern Avenue and Rogers Lane, so not a problem there. I mentioned how that backup is happening on the north side of the Beltline. You know, getting to US 1, you're just fine, but that lane, that right lane there, those folks are trying to get onto I-40 westbound, and that's always a problem this morning. Slow going there if that's part of your morning commute. Of course, you can take us with you. Listen to us on WRAL News Plus at 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Thank you, Ken. Breaking news, Guest Road in Durham is back open this morning after a shooting there last night left a man dead. That shooting happened in a business parking lot near West Club Boulevard at about 8:30 last night. This is near the entrance to the old Northgate Mall. Nick Perlin was there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
Durham police spent roughly 11 hours investigating a shooting that left one man dead in this business parking lot behind me. Now, I do want to get you to this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker, and you can see investigators focusing in on this white sedan. You can see them taking pictures as well as looking inside of the car. And as the morning progressed, they even were looking for fingerprints on the car. We know Durham police arrived here at around 8:30 Tuesday night. That's when they say they found a man shot in this parking lot. They say he died on the scene. We're still trying to learn from Durham police if they know who fired their gun last night. Once we have more information, we'll be sure to update you. In Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
We are expected to get an update today on the number of people killed in Greenfield, Iowa. I want to show you now drone video of the aftermath of a tornado tearing through that community. Look at that debris. Look at that destruction. Authorities say multiple people were killed and another person died in a community about 30 miles away during yesterday's tornado outbreak. A curfew is in place in Greenfield while search and rescue crews work through all of this. People who survived say they are just worried about their neighbors right now.
Devastating. I've lived here all my life. I'm just praying that everybody was safe. Everybody's safe and nobody got hurt.
The National Weather Service says there were 20 reports of tornadoes across Iowa yesterday.
This week, UNC's Board of Governors is expected to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Today, we're hearing from a state lawmaker who's underlining the importance of these programs. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is on NC State's campus this morning. Kelsey, these policies have been in place for years at schools in the UNC system.
Michelle, they have, and this morning, students, lawmakers, and business leaders will talk about what getting rid of those policies could mean for our state. So the decisions that happen in this building, Winslow Hall, could change very soon. This is the building at NC State where they have their Office for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. 17 colleges and universities across the state could be impacted by the policy change. UNC is one of the most notable. Not only could DEI goals and initiatives be removed, several DEI-related job positions are on the line. Representative Maria Serviana is holding a news conference today about the board's decision. She was one of the first Asian American women to become a state representative in 2022. This is her message to the Board of Governors this morning.
To have an open mind to hear beyond the narrative and really hear how this has been benefiting people from people who are directly being affected.
The Board of Governors is expected to make their final decision tomorrow, and that news conference is scheduled for this morning at 9 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A bill that would make wearing a mask in public a crime has hit a wall in the State House. Republicans say they won't sign off on it after it was passed by the Senate. State law currently allows you to wear them for health reasons, and that's because of an exception made during the pandemic. Well, some Senate Republicans want to get rid of the exception. They say protesters and criminals are using masks to hide their identity. House Republicans say the exception should stand. The Speaker's office says the House will vote today to not agree to the Senate's changes.
Breaking news, new movement in Europe to recognize Palestine as a state. Norway and Ireland announced hours ago that they are recognizing Palestine. Spain's prime minister says it soon will follow. Norway's prime minister posted to social media after his announcement saying, quote, a two-state solution is the only viable pathway to peace for both Israel and Palestine. Israel says it is withdrawing its ambassadors from Ireland and Norway over that decision.
2 people are out of their home after a fire in Moore County. Firefighters responded to Forest Lake Lane off Forest Lake Lane, Pile Hill Road, that is, north of Pinehurst last night. You'll see the damage right here. They found a mobile home on fire. Firefighters were able to put out the flames within minutes, but as you can see, significant damage was done to this home. No one was hurt, though. The Red Cross is helping the people who live there.
A class of Wake County students are waking up graduates this morning. The first graduation ceremony of the season happened last night. Wake STEM early college students walked the stage at Mandy Hall, and this evening, Wake Early College of Health and Sciences and Knightdale High School will all graduate. Most high schools in the district will hold their graduations the first 2 weeks of June.
A street in downtown Raleigh will be closed today as crews work to remove a large oak tree from Nash Square. Martin Street will be closed between McDowell and Dawson Streets beginning this morning at 9, about 50 minutes from now. It'll last until 4 tomorrow afternoon. The City of Raleigh Urban Forestry says the tree needs to be removed because of the safety risk to visitors and infrastructure. Experts estimate the tree to be nearly 100 years old.
NBA star LaMelo Ball is facing a major lawsuit. The reason a North Carolina family is suing the NBA star and the Charlotte Hornets.
Plus, it's not every day you see dolphins swimming in a creek. How officials in New Jersey are working to free this dolphin after it got stuck.
And our temperatures are turning hotter as our wind begins to come out of the south. That will also increase our chances for thunderstorms. Storms start tomorrow and last all the way through the weekend with some breaks. I'll show you the timeline coming up. It's 8:14 on this pretty morning. We're seeing gorgeous blue sky in Apex and Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. There are a few clouds that are starting to pop up in a few places, but it's nice and clear in Goldsboro. And they're in Fayetteville, right there where our newsroom is. You're going to see that dappled sunshine on Hay Street. We have a cold front that is headed our way that will stall over the weekend and keep us in a chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms every day starting tomorrow all the way through a good bit of next week as well. It's 40% Thursday, Friday, 50% Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at it now. We have had a cluster of thunderstorms up around the Ohio Valley. Elsewhere along this front right now, things are fairly quiet, but just starting to get fired up again over Oklahoma, where we currently have a few severe thunderstorm warnings in progress. For tomorrow, now today will be nice and dry. Tomorrow we'll end up with a chance for thunderstorms right after lunchtime. You can see some of those popping up in our northern counties. By the evening commute, it's moving into the triangle and then off to our southeast. So our eastern counties, Fayetteville, Goldsboro, Clinton, seeing some of those thunderstorms during the evening. We do have a level 1 risk for severe storms for tomorrow from Fayetteville northward. Damaging wind would be our biggest threat, but some rain, some heavy rain is possible as well. We jump ahead to Friday. We start dry on Friday, and late in the afternoon or evening, we'll see some thunderstorms pop up. That could be an issue if you're planning to leave town for the big holiday weekend on Friday. The traffic is already going to be messy. Add some rain to that, and it will just be worse. We'll start off Saturday morning with dry conditions, and then we'll end up with a few stray thunderstorms. And Sunday, same thing. We're going to have some nice dry times during the weekend. It's not going to be a washout at all. Just plan on some afternoon and evening thunderstorms each day. There's Monday, and you can see late day thunderstorms as well. So all the way into early next week. Again, 40% chance Thursday and Friday, 50 Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, in pockets, we're going to have some heavier rain. Overall, widespread ½ an inch to an inch of rain between now and Sunday. The best thing to do if you're planning to be out and away from your TV or your radio, take your phone, download our WRAL app, and set it for alerts. You can also listen. If you hear thunder, you're in danger of being struck by lightning and it's time to go inside. Or look to the sky. If it looks like you have an anvil cloud coming your way, you want to take cover. And then a shift in the wind as well. The wind direction and a bit of a cool down also is a signal that a thunderstorm is headed your way. Cooling down might sound nice, however. 92 for tomorrow. We're back to 90 again on Monday for Memorial Day, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we continue to follow that breaking news over on East Millbrook Road and Atlantic Avenue. It's a major crash that shut down that entire intersection of East Millbrook and Atlantic Avenue. Also, this icon right there is actually an overturned vehicle on East Millbrook Road, causing even other major problems in that area. I want to give you a live look at that scene right now. WRAL's Laura Levine has been there all morning. She's still there gathering information. As you can see right now, it's in the cleanup phase. They've hauled away the UPS truck that was involved in this accident as well. And there you see a couple of tow trucks have the truck that was involved, as well as that red sedan that was involved. Laura spoke with the family members of the person who drove that red car right there, and they're telling her that he is stable right now, but in very bad shape. But of course, we'll continue to stay on this story and just keep you posted throughout the morning. An alternate route might be Spring Forest Road if you're looking for an east-west route. Elsewhere around the Triangle, we're seeing the usual congestion that we see all morning on the north side of the Beltline, the south side of the Beltline, as well as I-540. Those westbound lanes remain trouble spots this morning.
All right, thank you, Ken. Most of the passengers who were on a flight battered by severe turbulence are now in Singapore. The airline said the passengers arrived there this morning after an emergency landing in Bangkok yesterday. Over 70 passengers are still in the hospital. The flight was on the way to Singapore from London when it hit turbulence. One man died from an apparent suicide and dozens were injured.
I want you to show you this. Flash flooding caused dangerous conditions for people living in Omaha, Nebraska. Multiple drivers had to be rescued from their cars. You can see right there in this video. This happened yesterday morning.
The district attorney leading the case against former President Donald Trump is in Georgia. She won her primary for re-election. Fani Willis easily won the Democratic primary in Fulton County with 89% of the vote. She'll face Republican challenger Courtney Kramer in the general election.
President Biden is responding to former President Donald Trump's social media post. It's one that included a reference to a, quote, unified Reich. The video was posted to Trump's Truth social media account Monday and then deleted yesterday. It shows fake news clippings of what would happen if Trump wins the election. Now, one of them included a text that said, creation of a unified Reich. A post on President Biden's X account shows that he is reacting to this video, saying that that's Hitler's language. The term Third Reich was Hitler's designation for his Nazi regime. Trump's campaign said it did not create this video. A spokesperson says it was reposted by a staff member who did not see the Unified Reich text.
The parents of Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley say they won't help him appeal his sentence. Crumbley was given life in prison for killing 4 students at his high school in 2021. His parents were also convicted of involuntary manslaughter. They're asking the judge to deny their son access to documents related to their cases. His lawyers say they may help prove his unstable mental state. The judge could grant access without their permission.
A North Carolina family is suing Charlotte Hornets star LaMelo Ball. Maria McCrae says that her 12-year-old son ran up to Ball's car to ask for his autograph. That was after an event at the Spectrum Center in October. Well, that's when she says Ball drove away and rolled over the boy's foot and broke it. The family says they would have filed a claim with Ball's insurance to pay for the medical bill, but they say the police report left off the insurance company and Ball's name. McCrae says that her son has spent months recovering in more ways than one.
For a while, I couldn't even recognize who my child was because, like depression, not being able to go outside and play.
This is his hero, his idol, and he got run over by him.
The family is also suing the Charlotte Hornets. They claim the team should have had more measures in place to protect fans who get too close to players.
North Carolina native Josh Sanders was the runner-up on season 25 of The Voice. Asher Havan took home the title last night, who was also on Team Reba.
The winner of The Voice is... Asher Havan!
Yeah, both were on Team Reba. Sanders is from Kannapolis, which is just north of Charlotte. And although he didn't win, he will certainly have a great career. Congratulations to him and Asher.
Yeah, he got to perform on a national stage, yes, right? Incredible. Guy still won in a way. A dolphin was seen swimming in a creek in New Jersey. I want to show you video here in Cape May County. Marine experts are working to rescue the dolphin and get it home. Neighbors say that they stop by maybe 2 or 3 times a day just to make sure the dolphin is still swimming and safe. It's unclear, though, how the animal got there, but marine researchers say it happened back in 2016, and the dolphin returned to the ocean safely then.
The ferry service to Ocracoke Island is expanding just in time for Memorial Day weekend. Routes between Cedar Island and Ocracoke and between Swan Quarter and Ocracoke have been increased to 8 departures each day. The Ocracoke Express passenger ferry begins service today between Hatteras and Ocracoke Village. It's also adding more trips. You can find more information at ncferry.org.
The Olympic torch is among the stars lighting up the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival. A French Paralympian carried the torch on the red carpet before passing it on to the fellow athletes. The flame will return to Cannes next month as part of its tour of France ahead of the Olympic opening ceremony on July 26th.
The death of actor Matthew Perry is now under investigation. Authorities in Los Angeles are looking into how he got the ketamine, which led to his death. The DEA and Postal Inspection Service are also involved. The Friends actor drowned in his pool at his home in L.A. in October. His death was ruled an accident, but noted contributing factors like the effects of ketamine in his system.
Your auto insurance is about to cost more, and it's not because of inflation.
We understand that probably this came from the Trial Lawyers Association, and some lobbying took place there in the Senate.
The law change, which goes into effect January of next year, increases minimum liability auto insurance standards in our state, meaning starting next year, North Carolina will have the most expensive basic coverage requirements in the country. In Tonight at 6, Keely Arthur explains who benefits from the change and how much more it'll cost you.
Coming up, a bill that would make wearing masks in public is hitting a wall in the state legislature. Where it stands now and why one lawmaker says politics is getting in the way of public health.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Get ready for a steamy day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has what we're seeing around town now. It's going to get hot today.
It is. Our wind is shifting to southerly today, which is different from the last couple of days when it was coming out of the northeast, which is, attached to a cooler air mass. So we've already jumped to 68 in Wilson, 69 in Durham, and 67 in Fayetteville. We're seeing a lot of cloud cover, but there may be a few clouds later this afternoon. Today stays dry, so you can leave the umbrellas at home. But tomorrow we'll have a chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So you may want to grab that umbrella. Because we'll be dry today, outdoor dining won't be too bad, but it is going to be warmer, mid-80s by lunchtime, and we're still in the mid-80s around dinner time, too. We'll see a high near 90, Ken.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We continue to follow that major crash that happened on East Millbrook Road and Atlantic Avenue. That intersection remains closed right now, although that crash is in the clearing phase. We'll keep you posted about that. Elsewhere around the triangle, we're seeing the usual congestion building on the north and south side of the Beltline, as well as these westbound lanes down here coming in from Johnson County and Highway 70. So keep that in mind as well. Also on I-540, we're seeing some bumper-to-bumper traffic going on as well. And the Durham Freeway remains a troubled spot this morning, too.
All right, thank you, Ken. A man is dead after a shooting in Durham. It happened at 8:30 last night on Guest Road near Club Boulevard. You could see more than 20 evidence markers on the road. Police say they found the man dead in the parking lot of a business. And Republicans in the state house said they won't sign off on a bill that would make wearing a mask in public a crime. The bill was passed in the Senate. The Speaker's office says the House will vote today not to agree to the Senate's changes. And next on Fox 50, an update on a serious crash this morning between a car, pickup truck, and a UPS truck in Raleigh. And next on Today, an Ohio school district banned cell phones. What happened may surprise you.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
I'm tracking a front that's likely to bring us thunderstorms starting tomorrow and then every afternoon this weekend. I'll show you the timeline for storms, especially for tomorrow with our level 1 risk.
One lane is back open on Atlantic Avenue after investigators have looked into a serious crash early this morning. We'll tell you what we know so far about this investigation.
And a deadly shooting in the parking lot of a local business. What we're gathering from investigators who are on scene for more than 12 hours.
We're just one day away from university leaders' final decision about removing DEI policies from college campuses across the state. Coming up, how students, business leaders, and lawmakers are speaking out today.
Following those stories and so much more this morning here on WRAL News and Fox 50. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, we are starting out nice. It's going to warm up today a lot, though. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking temperatures and a beautiful look in Zebulon.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? A pretty lawn here in front of their historic town hall. A little breezy. You can see the flags floating around there in the light breeze. Our dew point is now up to 62, which still keeps us in the nice zone, but it's not 50s anymore like it was early this morning. And we're at almost 70 already. We were in the mid 70s at lunchtime yesterday. We'll be in the mid 80s at lunchtime today. 64 in Roxborough, 68 Rocky Mount, 70 in Southern Pines already. And again, looking at mid 80s at lunchtime with a high near 90 this afternoon, and it will feel just a little more sticky. Not looking at thunderstorms today, but tomorrow, as that cold front gets closer to us, we'll see a few isolated cells that pop up right after lunchtime. During the evening commute, it's going to be pretty messy around the triangle, and then those storms during the evening slide off into our south and eastern counties, and then eventually out by around 10 or 11 o'clock. We do have a level 1 risk for severe storms tomorrow from, say, Fayetteville northward, with damaging winds being the biggest threat. And we still have that chance each afternoon and evening through the holiday weekend. I'll show you when it looks driest. Coming up, Ken.
At 8:32, Elizabeth, we are staying on top of that breaking news, that major crash at the intersection of East Millbrook and Atlantic Avenue. This icon right here is an overturned vehicle on East Millbrook Road, not causing any problems there. But here, this intersection, that's where the troubled spot is. And that's where we find WRAL's Laura Levine. Laura, you've been on that scene all morning long. Set the scene for us and recap what happened.
Ken, within the past 15-20 minutes, crews have reopened a lane here on Atlantic Avenue. As you can see, all of the vehicles involved in this crash are now gone. They were able to tow them away, the last one leaving within the past 10 minutes here. But this was a very serious crash, happened just before 4 o'clock this morning, involving a car, a pickup truck, and a UPS truck. I spoke with the relatives of the person and driving that red vehicle that we saw just completely mangled, and he was trying to process the news while also seeing his older brother in such a terrible condition.
I seen him, though. I couldn't look at him too much, bro.
How's he doing?
He good. He as good as he can right now.
Physically?
Yeah. He breathing. He in there. He's stable. He gonna be back. Just give him a few days.
The family is asking for prayers for everyone involved in this situation. Within the past 5 minutes, I have given Raleigh police another call to find out the condition of the driver in that pickup truck. They still cannot tell us at this time, as they're still just trying to take in some information before sharing that information. We'll be sure to update you once we learn more. Ken, I know you have a look at how folks can get around this area, but things are improving as far as traffic.
And that's the good news. Of course, we're saddened for those families who are waking up to that news this morning. Here you see the icon right there. You see the traffic backing up on Atlantic Avenue this morning, and hopefully that'll clear. An alternate east-west route might be Spring Forest Road, but again, Laura said that lane is reopening, so it should ease up there a little bit. Elsewhere around the triangle, we're seeing the usual congestion building off of 87, those southbound lanes onto that westbound lanes of I-440 this morning, as well as the southbound lanes that's around the Lake Wheeler Road. We're always seeing that this time of morning. A troubled spot this morning really has been those westbound lanes coming in from Johnston County on Highway 70. If that's part of your morning commute, keep that in mind. You're going to be in bumper-to-bumper traffic for a little while. Over in Durham, the Durham Freeway in both directions slow going this morning.
Ken, thank you. Breaking news we're following. Guess Road in Durham is back open this morning after a shooting there last night left one person dead. The shooting happened in a business parking lot near West Club Boulevard around 8:30 last night. This is near the entrance to the old Northgate Mall. Nick Perlin was there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
Durham police spent roughly 11 hours investigating a shooting that left one man dead in this business parking lot behind me. Now, I do want to get you to this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker, and you can see investigators focusing in on this white sedan. You can see them taking pictures as well as looking inside of the car. And as the morning progressed, they even were looking for fingerprints on the car. We know Durham police arrived here at around 8:30 Tuesday night. That's when they say they found a man shot in this parking lot. They say he died on the scene. We're still trying to learn from Durham police if they know who fired their gun last night. Once we have more information, we'll be sure to update you. In Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Utter devastation in Iowa after a tornado outbreak there. Authorities say multiple people are dead after a tornado leveled the city of Greenfield. You can see in this drone video here what's left of the community of about 2,000 people. We're expecting authorities there to release more information about the destruction later today. Authorities issued a curfew in the community last night. People will be allowed to come back and assess the damage at 8 o'clock this morning, so they are there right now. Another storm-related death was confirmed in a community about 30 miles away from Greenfield. Iowa's governor has put 15 counties under a proclamation of disaster emergency.
In about half an hour, UNC System students will join as state lawmakers highlight the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion policies on campus. This is coming as the Board of Governors is expected to eliminate them this week. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains this policy change would affect schools across the state.
This morning, students, lawmakers, and business leaders will talk about what getting rid of DEI could mean for our state. And the decisions that happen in this building, Winslow Hall, could change very soon. NC State's Office for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is here. 17 colleges and universities across the state would be impacted by the policy change. UNC is one of the most notable. Not only could DEI goals and initiatives be removed, several DEI-related job positions are on the line. Representative Maria Cervantes is holding a news conference today about the board's decision. She was one of the first Asian American women to become a state representative in 2022. Her message to the Board of Governors today?
To have an open mind to hear beyond the narrative and really hear how this has been benefiting people from people who are directly being affected.
The Board of Governors is expected to make their final decision tomorrow. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Jeff Hogan of the WRAL Live Center. I got some breaking news from overseas. I want to show you right here. Citigroup has been fined almost $90 million, $80 million, I should say, for failing to control its trading operations. Listen to what happened here. One of the biggest sanctions for systems breaches, which one case saw the Wall Street firm cause a sudden fall in European stocks because of all the trading that was going on there. Market watchdogs overseas say it happened from April of 2018 through May of 2022, when a worker apparently fat-fingered a trade, dumping $189 billion onto European markets. So Citigroup says it is pleased to resolve this matter. It was an error that was identified very quickly, and then it was corrected within minutes. But a huge fine for Citibank.
And a massive mistake to make. Thank you, Jeff. Tonight, you can learn more about Durham's plan to fix lead contamination found in some city parks. It's been nearly a year since lead was discovered in the soil at 5 parks. Monday night, the city manager presented her proposed budget, and that set aside $5 million to fix the issues at these parks scattered across Durham. And tonight at 6:30, the Parks and Rec Department is hosting a virtual public forum for people to get answers about this issue.
A bill that would make wearing a mask in public a crime has hit a wall in the state house. Republicans said they won't sign off on it after it was passed by the Senate. State law currently allows you to wear them for health reasons because of an exception made during the pandemic. Some state Republicans want to get rid of that exception. They say that protesters and criminals are using masks to hide their identity. House Republicans say the exception should stand. Republican Erin Parr says that her constituents have told her they're worried about protecting their health.
We need to look at a common sense solution for everyday people, the majority of North Carolinians. I regret that there is politics involved when you're talking about people's health.
And the Speaker's office says the House will vote today not to agree to the Senate's changes. From there, the bill will go into a committee where the House and Senate can either reach a compromise or drop it altogether.
A woman is facing charges because authorities say her dogs attacked 3 people, including a child. This happened in a neighborhood near Jordan Lake. Chatham County deputies say it happened in the Firefly Overlook housing development. They also say 4 pit bulls attacked a mother and her 12-year-old son at about 6:30 last night. Authorities also say the dogs had attacked a 66-year-old man previously in the day. Deputies were able to capture 3 of the dogs, they are telling us, and one was shot and killed. The sheriff's office says the dogs belong to 31-year-old Brittany Fountain of Hope Mills, right there on your screen. She is facing charges including animal cruelty, but everyone who was bitten is expected to be okay. A new report reveals concerning actions in law enforcement response to last year's mass shooting in Maine. Why a new report is calling the response chaotic.
And the NFL launching a new program to help women and minority-owned businesses. What the new diversity initiative entails next.
And let's get you a live look this morning over at Southern Pines. Not as many people outside as I was expecting this morning on such a beautiful day. After the break, Elizabeth Gardner brings us the chance for storms this holiday weekend. Good morning, Wilson. Waking you up this morning on a beautiful day as you're probably going outside enjoying that weather, but definitely stay hydrated today because, yeah, it's going to be a hot one. Elizabeth Gardner's been tracking that. Just how hot is it going to get, Elizabeth?
Well, right now we're at almost 70 degrees and we started in the 50s in some spots this morning. So we're warming up fast. The reason for that is this southwesterly wind. Previously, that wind was coming out of the northeast the last couple of days, so it felt pretty comfortable. Southwest wind will start to bring a more tropical air mass into our region. So yesterday at lunchtime, we were in the mid 70s. At lunchtime today, we're talking about 80s already. So finding a cool spot by the lake may be the way to go. Thanks to our weather watcher, August Hans, who sent us this great picture from Lake Johnson yesterday. We would love to see your Weather Watcher photos as well. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, send us a few, and we'll put as many as we can on TV. 89 in Raleigh and Durham this afternoon, 90 in Fayetteville, so it will be a little hotter than yesterday. And our dew point is creeping up a little bit too. We're at tolerable, which is not terrible. Now you get to 72, and it feels like somebody threw a wet blanket over your head. We're not going to get there today. It is going to be comfortable this afternoon and this evening too. If you're headed out to the Bulls game, they have a homestand all the way through the weekend. Game time temperature this evening, 84 degrees, and then 81 at around 8 o'clock. With the additional moisture in the atmosphere, we're going to feel a heat index. It's going to feel like 90s all the way into next Monday, so keep that in mind. We also have that chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So if you are headed to the pool or somewhere to stay cool, make sure you know you'll have a way to know when the thunderstorms are headed your way. If you're not ready for all this heat just yet, check this out. We have the chance for below normal temperatures as we move into that first week of June, and that doesn't always happen. So that's going to be a bit of a treat for those who just aren't ready for the summer weather yet. Here comes a front that's going to stall over us this weekend. We have some severe storms that have been developing here across parts of Oklahoma and some storms up into the Ohio Valley. This is a fairly slow moving system. It will bring us a few isolated storms starting just after lunchtime tomorrow, and then a little more widespread from the evening commute down south and east as we get through, say, past dinner time and closer to midnight. We do have a level 1 risk for severe storms tomorrow from Fayetteville northward. Damaging winds would be our biggest threat. It should be fairly isolated. Our morning temperatures are going to be warmer. We were in the 50s in some places overnight. We're looking at solid 60s. And again, we do have a chance for afternoon and evening thunderstorms all the way through Tuesday, but we'll have some good times during the day when we're dry before those storms start.
And with summer vacation nearly here, many families are making plans to visit the North Carolina Zoo. WRAL lifestyle editor Kathy Hanrahan is here with us this morning with hacks to help your family save time, and we love it, save money, Kathy. First, when is the best time to visit the zoo?
Okay, well, the zoo can be very crowded, so the best time to visit is usually the weekdays. If you can't visit during the week, Sunday mornings are the best times to go. On the weekends, you got to go early. Go when the zoo opens at about 9 a.m. The animals are more active earlier in the day because it's not as hot, so it's a fantastic time to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And temperatures, as we know, starting to heat up. What are some ways, besides going early, that families can stay cool at the zoo?
The zoo's got you covered because I know it's going to be hot this summer. Okay, they've got misting tents set up. So you've got some misting options, 2 in North America, 2 in Africa. There's also refillable water bottle stations. They got 3 of those in North America and 1 in Africa. You can bring a refillable water bottle. So you don't have to buy water, just bring it, and you can keep refilling as you go along. You can bring snacks snacks for your kids. Small snacks are allowed in, and you can also bring a little insulated cooler if you need to bring like a bottle with formula or milk for your babies.
Oh, that's great. Staying hydrated is key this summer. It's really important. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Free experiences. Tell us about those.
Okay, so the Canine Champions for Conservation, they're going to start performing daily on May 25th. It's a high energy show featuring dogs rescued from local shelters. The show's going to run through Labor Day weekend. It's so much fun. Other things you can do, you can check the zoo website to find out when the animals are eating and plan visits around the feeding times.
Oh, that's so fun. A trip to the zoo is always fun, but with families with little kids, we know it can be a lot. So what additional tips do you have for those families?
Plan to take breaks throughout the day. It's okay to just visit one continent. You don't have to do both. Don't fit everything in one day. Take a photo of where you park so you can find your car. That is incredibly important. Come up with a meeting place in case you get separated from your family, because cell service can be kind of spotty. That's a lot of stuff you need to know.
That's some good tips there, Kathy. Thank you. So you can go to WRAL.com for even more of Kathy's tips, including how you can skip the line and get into the zoo faster. We like that. It's all on WRAL.com. Search keyword family.
Wade County secured nearly $5 million worth of grant money for affordable housing, and this money will be used to create and preserve 2,500 affordable housing units by 2029. The county will also contribute money to the overall fund. Now, other goals include providing money for rehabilitation of current affordable housing, public facilities, and public services, too.
Next Tuesday, jurors for former President Donald Trump's hush money trial will hear closing arguments. Lawyers for Trump rested their case yesterday without calling him to testify. Robert Costello, a lawyer who has clashed with Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen, was the final witness in the trial. During testimony Monday, the judge overseeing the case scolded Costello for disrespectful behavior on the witness stand. The former president has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records.
Well, looks like NASA delayed the launch of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft again. The launch was put on hold last night to give managers more time to evaluate a small helium leak on the vessel. NASA has not announced when another launch attempt might be made. The Starliner's inaugural voyage will carry 2 astronauts to the International Space Station for a 10-day mission.
The law enforcement response to last year's mass shooting in Maine was utter chaos. That's according to a report from the Portland Police Department. It claims that some deputies were drunk when they arrived. The Associated Press obtained that report. It accuses drunken deputies of nearly crashing an armored vehicle at the scene of the October shooting. The sheriff's office denies any deputies had been drinking. The report also says deputies who showed up on the scene in plain clothes without being dispatched caused chaos and confusion. 18 people were killed in the shooting at a bar and a bowling alley.
A high school sports injury led this week's Teacher of the Week to discover her love for educating children. WRAL's Ken Smith introduces us to a teacher who is always looking for new ways to inspire her students.
Miss Cheney, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. Congratulations. After the shock of our surprise visit subsided, Morgan Cheney, a third-grade teacher at Creech Road Elementary School in Garner, got back to doing what she's enjoyed doing since high school, teaching little children.
I was originally going to college for English for editing, but then I found out I liked all the different subjects and I liked teaching, and what's the point of knowing something if you can't share it?
Cheney is always working to come up with new and different ways to improve the learning experience for her students.
At the beginning of the year, they didn't even know their multiplication facts, and they just sped through the NC check-in. They got their word problems done. They just knew, oh, that's multiplication, I can just do it, and they knew it right off the bat. And just seeing that transition from not even knowing something to being able to do it and apply it, it was really rewarding.
And how Cheney, just in her second year of teaching, got to North Carolina from Utah, where she grew up, is a story in and of itself.
I literally closed my eyes and pointed on a map. Like, I'm not kidding. I was like, East Coast, I can do that. It has a beach, has the mountains. I can handle it.
And handle it she has.
That's pretty cool.
And her students are all the richer for it. Ken Smith, WRAL News.
Congrats to her. And if you'd like to nominate a teacher, you can go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box.
The NFL is launching a new program aimed at helping minority and women-owned businesses. The NFL source will encourage teams to reinvest in their communities by doing business with the underserved communities. It's designed to increase the number of contracts the league has with minority and women-owned businesses, and teams that host the Super Bowl, draft, and other league events will be required to participate. The NFL says it's the largest diversity initiative in the league. And Caitlin Clark's new endorsement deal is one that only Michael Jordan has ever had before. She signed a multi-year sponsorship deal with Wilson, the maker of the WNBA's official basketball. The signature ball will be gold and white with personalized engravings of Clark. Jordan is the only other athlete who is a brand ambassador for Wilson.
Pretty cool. And before we go to break, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on traffic and weather in just a bit.